So welcome to meeting 5 of the Readiness and Adoption Committee. My name is Rich Oppenheim from Regional Government Services, and I'm the co-lead of the Readiness and Adoption Committee. I'm joined by Sahar Noor, who is my co-lead on this group from the City of Detroit, and Albert Gahami from City of San Jose, who helps us move our group along and is the sounding board for all things on the coalition side. So really appreciate his presence here as well. We are going to be we're working through our introductions now. We're going to get into talking about policy and adoption today from Sahar, a brief check-in from the upskilling group, and we'll walk through some project updates and talk about ongoing action items. And then if there's time at the end, Albert and I had talked about this before, sort of opening up if any of our existing work groups want to go into breakouts and talk about, use some of the remaining time to talk about their specific projects and collaborate in those spaces. So Sahar, I'm going to turn this over to you and see if you want to give an update on the policy side and how that's going and describe the service that you're providing there.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Rich. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Seher from City of Detroit. And I've been working with some of you. There are some cities that have reached out, and thank you all for reaching out. We will continue to work with you on anything that might be needed, but we have the coalition has a lot of useful information with regards to policy and a policy manual, fact sheet, incident report, and we can, if you need any help navigating those, or if you are new trying to see how to work through those, please feel free to reach out. And a quick shout out to some of the cities and counties who have reached out: City of Bryan, City of East Palo Alto, Colorado, Port of Seattle, Franklin County, City of Naperville, and Suisun City. There are for this phase, and since who we have worked with last time. So thank you for reaching out. And if you if after going to the website, if you find information daunting, please reach out to me via email if you like. And if you have any questions, we can review those. I can send you information, but if you need to talk, and if it helps better, if we need to set up a meeting, then definitely send me an email with some availability, and I can send invite to meet with you. And also, there is a webinar coming up soon, and which will help folks navigating the new people, how to get onboarded, how to use resources, and bunch of different things. And if you guys have any people who are relatively new or who are brand new, what is the information that you're looking for, how we can help, if you let us know, we can provide support that way too. There is a bunch of like I said, email the bunch of resources here on the coalition website. And also, if folks have not checked out, please review the YouTube channel. You can find pretty much everything over there: how to how to navigate the website, how to use any of the templates provided, different work groups that you can join, and many more. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Great. Thank you so much, Sahar. And it's great that you're getting some individual agencies reaching out to you. And I know from what I've heard, those conversations have been really valuable and can help people really get started in applying the resources and the templates that the coalition offers to other agencies. So thank you so much for providing that service. I see in the chat there's a question about when the webinar will be held, and we'll touch base on the webinar a little bit later, but we don't have a specific target date. We're trying to deliver it hopefully by the end of the month. In the meantime, there's a templates and resources page on the Gov Coalition website that you can use to sort of preview all of the different resources that are available to coalition members. So, and we can put that in the chat, I believe, if you're new, so that we can get you to that page where those resources are. So I wanted to move on. Our next is a check-in from our upskilling group. And Lon or Rick, do one of you want to check in today on where you're at with this project?
Certainly. Rick, please do chime in. We have had some working groups besides the meetings like this one to summarize updates. So one of our recent working groups are narrowing down on the deliverables for each of these 3 initiatives. So the first one is staff literacy playbook. So the idea is that any agency who wanted to consider providing literacy training to their members can then leverage the playbook and customize as they need. But basically, with that playbook, they can speed up their offerings to their staff. And the playbooks could also be 2 ways. One is functionally focused, say FIRE. Another one is horizontally more generalized. For example, training of trainers, so that the different functional groups can then take the first training and then take it, spread the word among their own departmental colleagues. So that's the clarified vision on the playbooks. And we are welcoming also the leadership's guidance in that. Say, Rich, Albert, if you see that we can adjust our deliverables under this playbook title, please do let us know. And we are just beginning to deliver the goals using the agile methodology. So that's the first one, playbook. The second one is the practitioner continuous learning certification. Basically, some people after the first round of training, or however their interest now has gotten to be in a certain area. For example, hey, cybersecurity, privacy, or any other public information sharing aspects. They wanted to have certain certifications in it. Then there also is going to be a catalog of all resources and curated content as well to guide people in their selections. So that's pretty straightforward. And the third one is about collaborative upskilling. And this also came from some leaders like Andrew from Kansas City. After a very meaningful experience from a MIT training program, which articulated the need for collaborative learning together with academic rigor. Because if someone tries to learn and implement, say, an AI innovation in their function, it's great. They're trying. It will be even better if they have academic rigor built into it along the way. So that's the focus of this third initiative. And we probably are going to zoom in on quick wins that can be leveraged by all GovAI Coalition members. So that being said, Rick, anything to add?
I'll just chime in that you know, we have some government people like Andrew and the Albert was really one of the big inspirations for doing the playbook. So we really appreciate any feedback he has as we're getting people to actually start doing that work. But government people are key. Like in one of the working meetings we had this week, it was asking, you know, what is the role? Like what is either the role of the person that's already in or the role that they're aspiring to be in if you're going to be hiring a new person, for instance. And we want to really bring in examples of government people in any of these initiatives to vet these and actually put them in practice with people that they work with, you know, that could benefit from this learning.
Great. Thank you, Lon and Rick, for that update. There's a
quick question.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Rich, I was gonna introduce the question. So if
Okay.
you could do that,
go
please.
ahead.
We had a question from Brad. How far are we away from delivering the playbook? And I'll just add an additional question to that from me. For folks that maybe can't make the upskilling meeting, is there a way for them to provide feedback on the playbook or provide you guys input separately?
Totally.
We just started the Slack channel. I'll let Lan take the main answer, but we did start a Slack channel on the adoption support group, and we have threads, for instance, on the playbook. And so that's an easy way for people to do it because it's in the GovAI Slack channel.
Awesome. So and I'll drop a link to the coalition Slack here in the Zoom chat. But you're saying there's a Slack channel in there that folks can join to provide input and stay in touch?
Yeah, adoption support is the one that we're using.
Awesome.
Yeah, and to add to that, people can also join our Google group. And so once you are in the group, you can get the invites and meeting notes, access to all of our literature. And that's an easy way to add and even edit your own content into it. And to join the Google group right now, easy way is to email this email account. That's my account. And that's all you need to do.
Great. Thank you, Lon and Rick. This is a lot of exciting work that you're doing. And I think it aligns so well with the goals of the overall committee and, you know, the education aspect and the policy aspect. And I just, you know, this will be a great space for exploring some of these ideas. And again, if you're interested in contributing to any or all of these, let Lon know at the contact information here. And Lon, if you want to drop it in the chat, that would be great too.
I'm sorry, just real quick. I don't know if there's time for me to ask some questions here or not.
Absolutely.
And maybe the best thing is for me to just email Lon and go ahead and join the group. But I've got a lot of interest around this. And I wasn't sure is the scope of what we're talking about here in terms of upskilling. Are we focusing on IT folks and upskilling their capabilities to be able to deliver AI solutions? Or are we talking about kind of the masses, right? Our business users in that audience and giving them the capabilities of generative AI in particular to be able to use that in their everyday jobs? Or is it all of the above?
I'm going to let Lon and Rick chime in on that.
I'll go first. The ambitious vision is that enables all government people to be able to learn along the way and bring real AI capabilities into their work. Now, how do we do the balancing? I think that different focused program groups may be established. So the IT people, they are much more advanced than others, can then have their own interest group to deliver their own projects.
Okay,
I hope
great,
that
Lon.
answered.
Yeah, it absolutely did. And I'll send you an email to join. We've laid out some curriculum we're basically doing lunch and learns for our general business community, just from the very start. What is generative AI? What is it not? What are reinforcing some of our guidelines that we put in place around generative AI, some typical use cases, and then getting into some more things like prompt engineering and some more advanced cases or usages that you might use generative AI for. And our hope is that we'll kind of build this internal community within the city that people start, because I think we're really at the tip of the iceberg with generative AI and what it can be used for in all the different areas across a typical municipality. And I think with a team site where folks can kind of share some of the things that they're using it for, and just, it feels like the kind of thing where if you get a little momentum going with it, it can really take off. And that's kind of the approach that we're taking for the business users in our community. Upskilling our IT folks, we're a little less certain about, really how to go about that and leverage some positions into, newer AI focused positions. So all in all, I'm very interested in it, and I'll send you an email, Lynn.
Great. Thanks, Brad. It's always great to have people jump into projects and help them grow. And seems like a lot of great synergy with what that team's trying to accomplish. Chris, I see your hand is raised also.
Thanks. And if I can just add on to what Lan was saying, Brad, I would love to chat more offline with you, because the way we had kind of discussed this and kind of my initial approach to it and thinking is that we want both a vertical and a horizontal aspect, because the training is going to be different if you're talking to the executive leadership, the department heads versus the managers versus the everyday users from a vertical perspective. But then there's also the horizontal perspective of specialized training for fire, for law enforcement, for critical infrastructure, HIPAA programs. And so there's, if you think about it, there's kind of a matrix approach to it. And we're really kind of trying to figure out the parameters of what the vertical looks like and what the horizontal looks like. And it sounds like from what you're saying, you're kind of taking a similar approach on how to reach out and make the training available and accessible and meaningful to different groups based on what their roles and responsibilities are. So your input would definitely be welcomed and valuable.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. And we're kind of playing to the lowest common denominator here. People who may not, may have heard about generative AI, but really that's it. They don't know how to sign up for it. And just starting at the very basics on lunch and learns and trying to hold them probably once about every 2 weeks if we can. So yeah, I'm excited about it and happy to join the group. Hope I can help.
Great. Thank you again, Brad, and thanks, Chris, for chiming in also. And we'll be looking forward to hearing an update on that as you move forward. So I'll shift us into our current project updates, those that we have. And Jim, do you want to take over giving us an update on where things are on the fire and police sides?
Yeah, the you say lesson one's complete. Have we finished getting that all built out with the public sector network?
Not yet. I'm still trying to connect with them.
Okay,
It's been a bit
so
challenging. So
yeah, I understand. So what we have is a video-based model right now that is suboptimal. We really need to get it into a learning management system for it to be functional. So we have lesson one basically complete. Lesson two is in draft, pretty close to being done. Lesson three is also in draft. Have not sent that to Shari yet because we're working on this partnership with Fire Engineering Training. And Fire Engineering, for anybody who doesn't know, is one of the oldest publications for the fire service in the world. And it's super exciting to have this partnership with them. But how that impacts us is our ability to, as we're building the training out, I may be doing some things differently so it's easier for them to put it in their LMS. So I've kind of paused at where I'm at right now. I'm in the middle of lesson four. And for the new folks here, this is a build out of total of 9 lessons spread out over 8 hours of training. It's being built consecutively, so it could be delivered as a one-day in-person session, or it can be delivered online through an LMS. And we're using AI to build the lessons as well as building AI tools to work in the lessons. So as an example, in lesson 2 is about change management and implementation. So we built out a GPT to do a SWOT analysis in ChatGPT to help you through the process of implementation. And in lesson 3, we've built out some tools in ChatGPT. Again, we're using custom GPTs just to guide them through processes and get them more comfortable using the tools. So I think we're in a pretty good place with Fire moving forward. Our goal ideally is to have it completely built out by the end of the year and kind of release these 1 month at a time with Fire Engineering Training. So they'll be releasing them on a monthly schedule, and that's what they'd like to do. Do we have any update on the MOU with them? I know it was sent to a group that included Albert, but I'm not sure if that got finalized yet.
It has not been finalized, and apologies, Jim. Let me just double check. I know we clarified what needs to be on the MOU. I might have just let me make sure I have the email that actually includes the MOU attachment.
Okay, and I'll follow up with Fire Engineering Training too, just to ping them and see what else they need. So
yeah.
that's in a good spot.
And before you move on to Fire, I wanted to sort of talk about the public sector network landing space. That is going to be our sort of online training hub for all the coalition trainings that we're putting on. It is structured more like a sort of a social media feed currently. And it's a place to put our video content with course descriptions. And what we're looking for as sort of before we get everything finalized on that page is making it very easy for people to navigate to the different training topics and see what the content is and access the videos in a way that makes sense to people coming on to the page. I don't know that they're going to have LMS related capabilities, but if they do, that would, I think, would be a later phase of rollout within this public sector network. So, I know we built a lot of these courses, Jim, and what Jim means optimize, like there are quizzes and elements and things that if you were in an LMS, you would complete a section, take a quiz, then move to the next section that would track your progress. Currently, that's all compressed into a YouTube video recording, and with pauses for people to answer the quizzes and then showing you the right answer, but it's all like a streamlined video. So you can reposition that content in a couple of different ways based on the landing platform that you're on, like whether that's like a sort of a website or an LMS. So I appreciate that we have both of those capabilities within that content. And I think that might be something we want to explore later. But I know we are planning to deliver the original sort of the video versions of these in public sector network, and then we can have, I think, further discussions about potential LMS and if that capability exists in public sector network, or if we need to explore something else as an option. So
Great, thanks for the update, Rick.
yeah.
So moving on to the AI and police, Katie reached out to us trying to see if we were going to do something similar for police. And our original discussions around public safety was that we really needed to do something different for fire rescue and for police because they have some really different concerns.
Yeah.
So we've got a small group together we're starting with. And I am not a police officer, I'm a retired firefighter. So my function would be really the general AI knowledge that I brought to the fire side. And we're looking for the expertise from the police side to bring that together and build out a similar type of training sessions that are focused on police. And I may actually have a lead on a learning management system on the police side also. So
Great.
I'm working on that right now.
Great.
That's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, that would be amazing, Jim. Thanks. You've kept us connected to so many people and kept this content moving along. We're really appreciative of all of your hard work on this. Let's see. We met recently with Quinn from Center for Democracy and Technology. I don't know if Quinn is on the call.
Yes, hi, I'm here.
Great. You were going to do a quick update on us after our last meeting, so I'll turn it over to you for an update if you have anything for us today.
Sure. Just briefly, we met with Rich and Tahir and Albert to go over kind of the current plans for this after we had a meeting with the National League of Cities to get their advice on sort of best approaches to format and content. So our current plan is that we'll start by making a 5-page or less written resource for elected officials and senior leaders. That will kind of be in the form of like a quote unquote checklist of actions they can take across some of the core issue areas we discussed, like transparency, accuracy, governance, etc. And that would be the starting point. Following the publication of that, we discussed options for doing follow-on webinars that could actually include elected officials that we could do live and record or some other kind of more in-depth option. But starting with the kind of written product that's more easily digestible for people with limited time felt like a good starting point to have something durable that we can sort of pair with trainings or webinars. So that's the current plan. I think next time we meet on the 18th, my colleague Maddie and I will come with a sort of full version of the outline for the written product that will sort of give you a high-level preview of, and then we'll send out an actual written version of that outline for folks to provide written feedback, and we'll also share with other partner organizations like National League of Cities, NACO, other folks like that. So that's the current plan.
Great. That sounds great, Gwen. Appreciate you and Maddie doing the upfront work on that, and looking forward to hearing more about that and getting feedback from the larger group at the next meeting. So thank you very much. I have a variety of things here that we have in the works, but there hasn't been a lot of movement on recently. HR and AI, Quinn connected us with his coworker, Matt, around their internal expert on AI and labor. So I have actually finally have a meeting on Matt's calendar for Friday. So we are going to try to have a conversation and see how we can move that element forward, or see how we may collaborate on that. So very excited on that. The CISO training, I think, Albert, we were thinking, I saw a recent email where they were hoping to come to this group and maybe talk about some potential content and get some feedback from the group as well. So I think that might be a dangling thread that I need to circle back on and see when they can come and talk to the group and talk about the content they have. So
sounds good. And Rich, if you need me to follow up or grease the wheels on that. Bloomberg should be owning this. I think it's just a matter of giving them the space to present and workshop that content here.
Yeah, okay, great. So I'll reach out to them and see if we can move that along. And then the AI and insurance and risk, that's sort of on pause right now. A lot of the key players, we've had a really challenging time getting the key team together to talk about this, but it looks like we're all going to finally have some time towards the end of this month. So it's on pause for a bit while people are out of town and on conferences and things like that. But there will be some more information about that coming forward at a later date. So, Sahar, do you want to talk about the quarterly introductory webinar? I know we talked about it mostly. I don't know if there's much of an update, but I wanted to see if you had any points here that you wanted to talk about.
Thanks, Rich. Yeah, no, nothing other than this. I've sent you that information. So, the quarterly webinar is usually for new members, but anybody who wants to have not gone on the resources webpage or are lost on how to find relevant information, there is ton of information there. There are many templates and everything. So and different committees that you can help out or participate, either contribute or be if you can consume that information, you can join those committees too. We are, like Rich said earlier, we're targeting it at end of June. We've been discussing what type of content you'd like to see in this. And whether in chat or later, if you want to give us feedback on what you would like to see in there, if there are areas that you are specifically not struggling, but like you wish you had more information, or it could be useful for people who are extremely busy, not being able to go through, but when they are going there, can't find information or can't find what will help you. So the webinar is focused to that, and we have, like I said earlier, we have a few things in mind of how to navigate, how to get quick started, where the information is, how to navigate that, how to access that, how to join coalition. I mean, the work groups, joining the coalition, joining the work groups, and different things like that for folks who are starting new specifically too. But anybody, like even people who are even folks who are there but would benefit in one way or the other, like, and have an opinion or feedback on what should be covered, please reach out and let us know. We will cover that. Otherwise, we are just looking at just the general information and different committees and work groups.
Great, thank you, Sahar. And as always, if anybody's interested in helping with this specific project, let us know in the chat or reach out to me through the email, the follow-up email that we send out after these meetings. So let me know.
And Sayer, I'll just flag, I'm compiling, I know you were going through some of our past decks. I'm compiling some of the content, like the getting started deck that you shared the YouTube link to with me. I'm compiling some of that into a new deck that we can, if you want to schedule time with me sometime in the next week or two, we can just have like an hour working session where we just crank out the full plan for what that webinar is, and then we can deliver it whenever it makes sense.
That's great, Albert. Thank you so much. Is your book me still available, or I'll take that offline? Send me your available times, even as early as next week, and I can book something.
Yeah, if just check my email signature in any one of my emails, and
Okay.
that should have it.
All right. Thank you, Albert.
Great, thank you so much, and looking forward to getting that moving along. Chris, I saw your note in the chat, and thank you for that. That would be really helpful when that group comes back together. So I would love to see that deck and connect with the organizer too. So
You got it.
thank you very much. And then Lon, we have not had further discussions about the MESAC engagement. I was talking to Heather about that. I don't think she's on the call today, but we were seeing some potential synergy between the work of the MESAC organization, which is Municipal Information Systems Association of California, I believe. And they were doing some similar sort of education efforts around AI and risk. And so we saw some synergy potentially between what they're doing and what we're doing and how we might collaborate there. But I haven't been able to get a follow-up conversation yet with Heather to talk about that in more detail. But I will, as we connect with that agency and develop a relationship there, we can also circle them back to your efforts also, because I think you had some interest in partnering with them as well.
Thanks. They have an annual conference in San Diego, and a proposal of presentations are due June the 13th.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's see. This is all I have left is our ongoing action items. You know, we always push this out for people that are new today. You know, they're in our AI education folder space. There are trainings that you can access, that you can repurpose for your agency's needs around sort of some introductory to AI, cybersecurity, and some other things that are helpful for people when they're thinking about implementing AI. We also always solicit any trainings you've developed at your agencies around AI, sharing those back towards us. And sort of that back and forth sharing is what we are really trying to establish in terms of our training collateral that we have in the folder. We also have an AI education landscape, and this is basically a curated list of AI training for public sector professionals. So it's an ongoing list. It's in our shared drive, and it's really detailed. It names the title of the course, who the audience is, the cost, what the focus of the class is all about, and some other factors that you might consider before signing up for the class. It also has a tab on there to give comments and feedback if anybody has actually taken one of the courses on the list, to let other users know how valuable it was or if it had an impact. So that also exists in the shared folder. And you know, we have a variety of projects you can see on the slide deck today, and these are all ideas that sort of started with people that had an interest and thought there was an audience that needed support around AI. So if you're sitting in this group and thinking, I want to join one of these groups, that's just always welcome. You can join any of these groups and participate anytime. And also, if you have other ideas for projects or, you know, potential training outputs or projects that you don't see here that you think that would be a great idea in addition to what we're doing, you know, you can share those ideas with Albert and I, and we can start thinking about forming a team and coalescing around that. And as we've always said in these meetings, you know, your participation is based on what you can do, and you can participate in many ways. You don't have to necessarily lead one of these project groups, but you can join in to a group. You can help vet content, you can help with brainstorming, you can help with the build out. So there's a variety of different ways that you can engage, and that's the whole point of this coalition is getting lots of people involved and sharing a joint purpose for these projects as we build them out. So we really just encourage you to jump into the space if you have an interest, and there is a place for you in any of these projects. So I see there's a couple of comments in here. From Marie, I'm reviewing the AI governance handbook. Anticipate adopting much of it, the step-by-step action. Has anyone come up with a good way to collect and maintain this information? I have used SharePoint lists, but I believe these reviews will have more information that is practical from my previous method. I would be interested in learning how others are organizing data. Do you want to talk about that, Marie? Do you want to unmute and share with us and talk about that a little bit more?
Sure. So we are in the process of establishing an AI advisory board. So our charge was just approved for that. And so I'm trying to figure out how do I collect requests kind of for AI assessment that the board would do. So I'm collecting it through a Microsoft form. It's auto feeding a SharePoint list. However, when the board actually goes to assess the request, I'm thinking I'm going to use the step-by-step section, assuming the board goes for that. And the question is, short of having another form, which I could certainly do that I require people to fill out, I just would like to know from other people, how are they gathering that information? Because it's not all going to come from the same place, right? You've got multiple stakeholders going to talk about risk. You've got costs associated. There's several places it's going to come from. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way to gather it all without me retyping into SharePoint list, right? So it's kind of a wide open question. I just would love to steal from somebody else if something's already out there.
All right. Does anybody have any feedback for Marie and her question on how to organize that information?
Marie, I could just say at the city of San Jose, what we've done, honestly, it's pretty similar to what you're doing right now, except instead of a SharePoint list, I have a Power Automate script that moves it into an Excel spreadsheet for me.
I have Power Automate that moves it into SharePoint. Yes.
Yeah, right. So, same concept there. What we do have is often there's just a back and forth that leans on my team to be able to have those conversations.
Yeah.
If you want to in my personal time, I've been working on ways to automate that. So if you want to talk more about that, we can talk about that separately. But that's my current state of the practice.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. And as you explore this, Marie, if you want to come back and share with us what you are doing there, that would be great. And if anybody has any feedback after sort of thinking about this, we can circle back to Marie and let her know.
Yeah, I'd be really interested in knowing how people are gathering all that information that's needed to make that decision and how they're storing it. That's the net of the question.
Yeah, okay. And then Alice says, where do I find the AI education folder? Is it in the Zoom workspace? That's from Alice. Albert, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, everything is in our team space. I'll drop the link to it in our Zoom chat here. And if you're having trouble accessing, please just message me your email address in the Zoom chat and I will make sure that you got access.
Okay, thank you. That would be great. Yeah, sorry, I meant Teams. We are on the Google Suite right now, and we're switching to Microsoft. And when I tried to access all that stuff earlier, when I first joined, it wouldn't let me log in because I didn't have the right, our accounts weren't set up yet. So, yeah, I think it's a Google Microsoft issue for the time being. We're a couple, maybe like 2 months out of getting the move.
Depending, you might want to talk to your IT on this. But depending on your organization's comfort, I know a lot of people have just created a new, like, just generic Outlook email address that they then use to access the team space, which is something you should be able to do for free.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I will message you now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Albert. And Jimmy, I see your note. Thanks for reaching out to Heather again, and I'll follow up with her soon. So thank you for that heads up on that. So that is everything I have for the meeting today. And, you know, we don't have a whole lot of time left. We have, looks like about 10 or so minutes. But if anybody does want to use any of the remaining time to sort of talk with their project teams, that would be great. Otherwise, I don't have a whole lot other to go over, and we can sort of end early and let people have a little break before their next thing. So, and Jim's asking if there are fire-related folks who would like to chat on the call. So if anybody's interested in that, please raise your hand or unmute and let us know. And we can arrange for you to be dropped into it.